These are tales of danger and the pursuit of endless riches. Adventurers and heroes from all parts of the world charging into the unknown, setting steel and magic against the most impossible foes, with each time wondering if this would be the last. Storms gather on the horizon, and evil rises from the waters of despair. These are tales of endless adventure. These are the Awakened Fables.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Awakened Fables, the Cold War of Thogcha. I am Dungeon Master Sam, and with me today, you know what, it is occurring to me that we are actually really good at getting consistent, you guys consistently showing up each week, so welcome back to Addison, Luke E, Luke F, Michael, and Rob. So, as of the last session, our group decided to return to the Royal Keep, where their previous riddle had advised that one of their players' abilities lay resting in the world of slumber. Deciding that must be alluding to the Royal Keep and the Fey Lady who dwelt within, they began to storm the Royal Keep, only to discover that the keep itself seems to be infested by creatures which are coming from the crypt that they had left open. Now, they were able to eventually fight their way through the Royal Keep in order to discover the audience hall where the Fey Lady Rhiannon was holding court and maintaining a vigil mourning the passing of the royal family of Vaaderlund. In doing so, they began to fight even more grey oozes and eventually took the fight directly to Lady Rhiannon herself, who, in her mourning and fury, began to strike back. After a fairly heated battle, Rithgar was eventually successful in slaying the lady after plunging a cold iron knife directly into her face. However, this was not without cost, as during the battle itself, it appears that Lady Rhiannon opened a planar portal and banished Trimp the Imp and Bolt the Shield Guardian, as well as Tillet, the person that they were hopefully seeking out, who was capable of creating more cold iron weapons and sending them through to another plane. Now, no! That was where we left off. So, gentlemen, you are still within the audience hall, having just witnessed Rithgar be the first person to slay a Fey Lady in probably countless millennia. This was directly after, I believe it was Will, was able to salvage the knife, which Rhiannon had managed to destroy. And aside from that, your comrade Solturum is still holding a grey ooze at bay behind a magical barrier. So, gentlemen, what would you like to do from here?
Well, we need to look for a Solturum copy amongst these people here, I think.
I'd like to move my hex to that grey ooze.
Yeah, ditto.
All right. So the grey ooze up to this point has been slamming itself against the barrier that Solturum has put up between it and the rest of the group. He has been able to sufficiently trap it in this little dead end, which was previously used as a sort of guardsman alcove. So it did have some furniture in it, but most of that has now also been reduced to a molten mess of, just molten mess, I should say. Alright, so, Solturum, you have been holding this thing at bay for almost a full minute. It is a challenge rating 10 creature, to give you a bit of an implication as to its exact power levels. How are you doing? You currently have 2 levels of exhaustion, so I can't imagine well.
I am incredibly fatigued on my last legs.
Yep.
Crouched down, with putting my hands towards the kinetic barrier, holding it up, and swaying slightly from side to side.
All right. So, your comrades, when they all turn around and basically check on you, they will be able to see that you're currently grey with fatigue as you are holding the barrier. So, Norloth and Tinkrit, the two of you have altered your hex, so it's now upon the ooze that's back there. Are there any other actions that the rest of the party would like to do?
Just not sure if I also move my, my Hexblade's Curse.
Sorry?
I just can move my Hexblade's Curse.
Oh, you would like to? All right.
Yeah, but I can't.
Got it.
I'm sending the remaining wolf over
Two
to.
remaining hit points equal to my warlock level, plus my charisma modifier.
But you don't have most of
I
those.
haven't lost any hit points. Right. So yeah, it's got hex on it for me as well, but
Alright.
not Plague's Curse. Sorry.
No worries. Addison, you said you were sending your wolf over?
Yeah, I'm sending the dogs in.
Yeah. All right. Michael, anything Rithgar's doing aside from reveling in his victory over the Fae?
Well, no, I think reveling through her corpse to try and see what he can find. And as well, I've also whispered to you about it.
You did? Oh, yep. Okay, give me a second.
Sam, I'm going to start staggering back, and as I do it, start saying, "Help! You know, bit of help. I need assistance," and I'm going to try and move back 30 feet.
Easy enough. All right. So, those of you who are able to hear Solturum, you can begin to hear the sound of what you begin to hear a sound that sounds like rock or crystal is beginning to crumble as his magical barrier is beginning to wear away. He has moved back about 30 feet. And whimpering. Fair enough. Michael, in regards to your very clandestine question, keep in mind that upon her death she did begin to kind of molt away because of the iron knife. Okay, so Solturum, everybody else, you are pretty much going to get one action before the ooze is released, assuming that Solturum does not want to roll for further concentration checks to keep it bound. Let me bring up initiative order from last time. Luke, would you also be able to roll initiative to add yourself to the token?
Okay.
$11. All right, that puts you ahead of Norloth and before after Tinkrit. Where are you? There we go. And I'm just going to reset the rounds. Oh, and also remove Rhiannon from that. All right, so coming up first is Rithgar. You are able to hear the cracking sensation of the barrier that Solturum is maintaining at the moment from the other end of the room. Now, at the moment, the audience chamber is filled with both various humanoids and Fae alike, who all look like they have been coming out of a very deep sleep. Most of them look fairly haggard, and the majority of them have been in deep mourning, so a lot of them also have tear marks just streaking down their cheeks this entire time.
Are any of them armed?
Sorry?
Are any of them armed?
You can see that many of them do have weapons on them, but you get the impression that most of them are simply too exhausted to actually wield them.
I kick their weapons. I spend my action trying to disarm everyone in the room.
Yep. All right. For that one, I'm just going to rely on you moving fairly quickly. So what's your movement speed?
Just normal, I think 30.
30 feet. All right. In that case, roll me an initiative check just to ensure that you are able to functionally move quickly enough that you're able to disarm them. All right, 19 for advantage. So you are going to be able to move around the room and very quickly and calmly disarm the majority of the people who are in there. There are one or two Fae who give up a fight, but most of them just kind of stand mutely at the ground while they try to recover their energy.
What shape is the iron dagger in, by the way?
Sorry?
Is the cold iron dagger melted again? Or...
Will did expend a nat 20 in order to restore it to its previous form.
But then I stabbed her in the eye with it.
There's no alteration, so the weapon itself was immune to her melting.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else for your turn?
No, I think that's me.
Yep.
Oh, can I drink a healing potion?
Yes, you may. All right. Will.
Okay. I'm probably going to move over to the thing. Am I 30 feet? I can get to probably here. And then maybe I'm going to cast from my staff. Where is it? Bottom Wall of Thorns. So it's, it ends up being a. How long is it? Did it come on the thing? Nope, didn't come up. Let's do it now. So it's going to do. See, I'll put it up there. So I created a Wall of Thorns that. Well, I'll put it pretty much where the kinetic barrier is going to be now.
Yep.
So just a wall of thorns across there, and if it tries to get through, it's going to take, I think, all that damage.
Alrighty. So, Will, are you channeling this through your staff or through your own specific abilities?
Through my staff.
Through your staff? Alright. So, you begin to cast the magic, using it through your staff, and vines begin to crawl out of the base of your staff towards the opening that the ooze is currently trying to open. Upon meeting the barrier, the vines begin to actually climb up it somewhat, and maintaining a grip on the archway around it, they begin to form a sort of net separating off the ooze in addition to the kinetic barrier.
Cool. Right. So Ciruimon, you can drop the barrier now. If it tries to get through that, it's going to take a fucking load of damage.
Alright, Tinkrit.
Pew pew pew!
Pew pew pew.
That's pretty much all I can do. It's that.
Oh, Eldritch Blast. Alright. I would probably recommend here just holding the action until you can actually see it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Easy. Oh, sorry. As in until it's easily able to be seen. So you can see it through the kinetic barrier and so forth, but isn't Eldritch Blast just directly coming from your hands?
Eldritch Blast. A beam of crackling energy streaks towards a creature.
Can I control the malleableness of the wall and create like a Eldritch Blast sized hole in it?
It's like a wall of thorns, right?
Yeah, because the kinetic barrier is already up in addition to the wall of thorns, the barrier just hasn't been dropped yet because it's not Solturum's turn.
Okay, well yes, in that case I will wait until the barrier drops. I understood the barrier to have dropped.
Nah, it's all good.
But hang on, this kinetic barrier won't stop it anyway, will it? I don't know what kinetic barrier is. Is it? Look, forget it. I'll just wait.
Yep. All right. Well, after your turn anyway is Solturum. So, Luke.
I'll drop the kinetic barrier.
All right. And
I'm wondering whether I should use my Staff of the Python now and chuck a giant a giant constrictor snake. I'll hold that one side.
Out loud?
Sorry?
Are you saying that out loud?
No, I'm talking to myself. I am going to cast Kinetic Glance.
Kinetic Glance. All right, doing 5 points of damage. Easy enough. And Rob is doing 2 points of damage using the Eldritch Blast. All right.
Why did I roll 2 dice? It's very strange. Anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea. At this point, I just think it likes the attention. All right. So the two of you are going to largely be casting your spells at roughly the same time. Did you want to flavor it up, doing the whole 2 mages maintaining energy sort of thing, or do you guys want to do it separately?
Cross the streams.
No, you never cross the streams. Cross the streams. I think that Tinkrit's Eldritch Blast creates it impacts upon the surface and kind of like creates a schism in the outer membrane of the ooze, which my kinetic lance blows open.
Yep. Very nice. All right. So you guys see a fair-sized chunk of the ooze just slither away from the rest and just begin to harden and dry, an indicator that you have been able to successfully do damage to the main form.
By the way, that's the hex that I moved to it.
Yep. Excellent. Done. All right. Anything else from you, Saltor?
And I yell, ooze sounds like poos.
I just look slightly disappointed at Tinkrit.
I'm not the bard I used to be.
And that concludes my action.
The gods themselves just open up a rift and look disappointed at Tinkrit.
It's your fault!
All right. You're done now, Luke?
Yes, I am.
Yep. All right. On to Norloth.
I'm also going to cast Eldritch Blast.
Just better.
Yeah. So these are all with +10.
Yep.
So I'm assuming they all hit.
If you guys might recall from last session, the oozes have an armor class of 5, so yeah, you're fine.
And that's 21 damage.
21 damage. All right.
And then the hex. What about that? 30 damage.
Excellent. All right. Any flavoring you want to provide, or it just builds on top of the 2 mages trying their best?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a flex.
That's fair enough.
We loosened it up.
Yeah, that's right. You might have opened that jar of pickles, but we loosened the lid.
All right. So
And I'll just move back a bit.
your attacks have been able to successfully make their way through the barrier of thorns without actually doing any particular impact. The Eldritch Blast in particular has torn off a few leaves, but the Wall of Thorns is still perfectly fine. All right. And...
Eldritch Blast, what did that do?
Sorry?
Never mind.
All right. Now, time for the ooze. Now, it is going to attempt to cross over the Wall of Thorns. So 5, 10. What am I rolling for this one, Will?
It just roll a dex save.
Oh, it's not going to be good. That's a 12.
Yeah, it fails, so it takes 39 damage. And then at the beginning of its next turn, it'll take 29 because it started its turn in there.
Yep. All right. So this is all it can actually get to at the current time, but it does look like the wolf is still within reach. So you guys can see it stretching out a pseudopod from the main body of its ooze, and it begins to attempt to wrap around the wolf nearby. And that is a 24 to hit. I'm going to assume that's going to be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that in total... okay. Is going to do 21 bludgeoning... Wait. So 13 bludgeoning and 8 acid, which is actually about a quarter of what it could have potentially done, so go figure. You guys can smell the smell of burning fur as the wolf's fur begins to just outright get seared off under the acidic might of this ooze, so the stench just rapidly fills the air. And that's all it can do. Rithgar.
How far away am I?
Where are you? Yep, there you go.
70 feet.
70 or?
Approximately. 70 maximum, about 60 actually.
I think if I get to here, I think that's 60. So I can dash there and stab it.
60 is exactly there.
No. I'll dash.
Yep.
Roguishly.
And you stab it.
There we go.
22, definitely going to be a hit. And there's that and that. Very nice. All right, so yes, it is going to be a successful hit as Rithgar adopts a near unnatural speed and zips into the area. What flavor would you like to provide?
I hack into its, what was it, a pseudopod?
That's right.
I sever off some of the pseudopod with my rapier.
All right. So with that, the wolf is toppled, well, falls to the ground with a abrupt whine, but it very quickly manages to recover its position and gets back up, growling. All right. Anything else for your turn?
Nope.
All right. Will.
Okay. Let's check where I am. Could move 30 feet that way. Let me just double check what spells I could use. Might just go in. Where am I? Right here. Oops. Right in there. And I'm just going to cast. Where is it? I cast Blight on it.
Blight? No.
Yep. So I just need a con save.
Ooh, this one I might do a little bit better at. Yes, I should do. All right. No, never mind. That's 13. I did not do better at it.
Does all 32 damage.
All 32. All right. So Blight is primarily intended to get rid of vegetative life. What exactly are you doing to an ooze of all things?
Maybe it's like the necrotic damage is kind of just like burning it away. My hand, you know when like you burn like a paper and from the inside and it goes away from the fire burns it, but without fire it's just like dark necrotic damage, just searing it away.
Fair enough. All right, so you guys can watch as the fury of Will's magic begins to tear at the overall body, I guess, of the ooze. So it gives a deep groan, which is felt more than heard. All right, anything else for your turn?
Nah, all good.
No. I'd probably recommend doing something with your wolf.
Yeah, I forgot about the wolf. Yeah, the wolf can just attack them. It gets advantage. Both will hit, so. Whichever, I guess the 14 damage. Oh no, it's the 12 piercing from the biting. Oh, no, never mind. I was gonna say, if it needs to be knocked prone, but oozes can't be prone.
No, they can't. Oh no, my ooze fell over. I think. All right. So it's going to be taking to about 26 points of damage. Wow, I forgot how to maths then. There we go. All right. Anything else?
No, that will be me.
Yep. Tinker it.
Yeah.
Pew pew pew.
Pew 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 pew.
Boing. It's doing a double dice again for some reason.
Yeah. It's odd. Yeah, you definitely hit it.
Roll again for me? That's really weird. I don't know what the hell is going on.
4 points of... I nearly said Eldritch damage. 4 points of force damage.
Yeah, and...
Alright. So you maintain the torrent of magical energy blasting from your hands. At the same time, the hex is beginning to tear it apart almost from a molecular level. Anything else?
I say, hey Ooze, you're gonna lose.
Only slightly better than the last one. All right.
Holds up before.
Hey, Ooze, beating you is a cruise.
No.
Arguably was.
All right. Luke with Solturm. You've muted yourself, by the way, Luke.
Sorry, I was just reaching for the phone to unmute myself. I am going to move down to here. So it's 15 feet. And I am going to do another Cure Glance. For 5 points of damage.
All right. Still ripping it apart.
Oh yeah, you know.
Sorry, I just sneezed. What?
I sound tearing it apart.
Yep.
No, Cure Glance is digging deep.
You're tearing it apart, Solturm! Sorry, I regret that reference. Alright, anything else?
I don't know why.
No, again, I'll just be looking somewhat disappointedly at Tinkrit still feeling, you know,
Yes. Yes.
ashamed at how low he has fallen.
Fair enough. Alright, Norloth.
I'll just cast Eldritch Blast again.
Now, I'm not going to lie, there's probably a pretty good chance you're just automatically going to win this one, so let's find out. Yes, those are all hits.
And then plus 12 for that.
Okay, so 17 plus 9, 25, 37 points. Yes, it had 34 HP. Take us home. What do you do?
Kind of looking a bit disappointed at Solturin and Tinkrit's just magic levels. I just shoot 3 Eldritch Blasts straight into the holes they've made, and it just explodes, covering the wolf.
Alright. So, the ooze explodes everywhere, and it showers everyone with its oozy self. There is a mild burning sensation from anywhere it lands on flesh, but for the most part, it quickly hardens and the no actual permanent damage is done at that time.
It's in my mouth.
If you look at the GIF I just sent in the Discord.
Yeah.
No, don't eat it with gum.
And I will start prestidigitation Rivka and Will and apologizing to them.
Yeah, that's right. You should be fucking cleaning. Look at that. Look, he's done.
Look, what I'm trying to say, that GIF is unnecessary.
Which one, Rob's or Addison's?
No, Rob's.
For those who don't know, it's the... Oh, I only just saw the second half of that. Really, Rob?
It's not appropriate for small children.
It's not yet. Okay.
More children here.
Considering that there are some small children in the GIF.
You're nasty. Alright.
Anyway.
Well, let's pretend that GIF never happened and let's move on.
Moving on.
Alright, so like I said, the members of the audience chamber are slowly coming back to themselves, but most of them are in various states of exhaustion, having been caught and in the thrall of Lady Rhiannon and forced to pretty much do the mourning that she has, I guess, is part of her nature. What would you guys like to do with the group in there? So a quick glance does reveal that the people that are in the hall, so the humanoids, they are a mix of both Clan Selfcling and Coldstreak, while the Fae themselves seem to look like fairly small-time members. You can't see any which are closer to being humanoid than anything else.
Well, the Cold Street folk might know where the prince is. none of them are the folk we're looking for, are they?
Assume not. Right. So there's no one of importance. Have they all stopped like wailing and stuff yet, or are they still?
They stopped wailing upon Rhiannon's passing.
Yeah. All right. Here's we'll have a chat to them and say, right, how long have you lot been here? Sobbing, like absolute sad, pathetic, you know. You know what, I'm not gonna, I'll save you the insult. Anyway, just tell me, you guys right? How long you been here?
Alright, so the look from the humanoids is fairly uncomprehending, but you can see that the Fae are beginning to slowly recover their power as some of them begin to try and get up. Those of the, around you that have wings do begin to buzz them as if they are intending to take off, but they aren't really able to do anything more than hover about an inch or so above the floor before they just fall down again. It doesn't look like any of them are inclined or capable of really answering you in their current state of exhaustion.
Right. Get some rest. Guess you're fucking useless now. Right, let's go find Ciruimon's double.
Should we like bind up these Fae anyway, or?
I realised that I was on mute, and yeah, that was my yes. I'd said that a moment ago. Well done, Luke.
Like, can I just clip their wings? Is it weird to just Fae wings?
Let's stop there.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
Might need that for components, I don't know.
Look, Nola,
This guy's just nodding thoughtfully to all this.
that's the type of thing that a demon would do.
Yes. Yes. Let's just tie them up. Come on.
Alright.
You can anchor the flying ones if you want, if we don't tie their wings up. That'd be pretty funny. Flying Fae on a string.
Like those videos of the guy who manages to tie a piece of string around the fly.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alright, let's time up.
Alright, hit me up with a group survival check, I guess, unless one of you wants to be responsible for the tying. 22 from Addison / Will.
Yes. I see my rolling is continuing on as usual, and anything that doesn't have dexterity is the
Modifier.
Back to a fine form there with Solturum's survival checks is what you're saying.
I've tied myself up.
I do think like Solturum and Olaf wouldn't be tired, and they'd just be standing back, just pointing out stuff.
Yeah, they probably might be. We go, no. We've got this.
No, you can stop. No. Alright, so your group answer is... Sorry, the group outcome for that one is 12.6, as Will rolled a 22, Tinkrit rolled a 10, Solturum rolled a 3, Rithgar rolled a 21, and Norloff rolled a 7. So, maybe you guys were mistaking it. I didn't say nature check, I said survival.
Yeah.
But you guys do quickly take the time to rush around and attempt to begin tying up as many of the Fae as possible. Give me one quick sec while I roll something completely inconspicuously. Noted. Alright. So, you are able to get the majority of the Fae. However, towards the end of it, some of them have begun to recover their energy by the time you get around to them. So, at the current time... my keyboard could stop working. That works. Do I have cap lock? Yeah, I have cap locks on. Alright, it looks like 4 out of the total number of Fae do manage to flee the area.
Do I have time to try and cast a spell to catch one?
If you roll initiative, we will find out.
Can I jump in on that as well?
21. Tinkrit will be able to do so. Solturum will be able to do so. Norloth rolls a nat 20. This is like not an actual entering battle initiative. This is just, me checking the thing. So this nat 20 is actually going to count for you, Luke.
Holy shit! Yay!
Let's go.
Would you like me to store it or use it?
I'll store it.
Store it.
Oh, you've got so many. You could stop them all from going. Anyway.
But,
Well, all four of you did pretty well, and there's only 4 that escaped. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, you guys as a party have done ridiculously well because Rithgar scored a 25, well, unnatural 25. So all of you are going to have the chance to do one action to bind the Fae attempting to flee. So my recommendation would be...
Unconscious.
okay, I'm gonna try and charm person one of them.
Yep. Alright, that needs a wisdom saving throw. And it rolls a 19.
Okay.
That'll pass.
Yeah, that passes.
Alright, so the Fae that you have attempted to capture does manage to actually flee.
Unless one of us stops it.
Can I just cast slow?
Upon the entire group.
Are they that close together? It's a 40-foot range.
40 foot, then yes, they will be able to, but you'll capture Solturum and... yes, Solturum within it.
It's on up to... I think I'll just post it in here because it's only on creatures I deem.
Oh, only the targets you want it to hit? Okay, in that case, then yes. Especially since you rolled that the nat 20, then I'll allow you to cast the slow. So in that case, everybody else, you may get 2 actions, and I'm just automatically going to consider yours to have been caught by whatever means you deem necessary, Luke.
Fair enough.
So, Luke with Solturum, what would you like to do for your second action?
Have another chop at what I did the first time, I think. Mainly because I'm just interested to do that.
So you're repeating the action, sorry?
Yeah. I'm gonna have another crack at hitting one of them with charm person.
Alright.
I'm having some difficulty casting it.
This one rolls a 12 for its wisdom save.
Oh, well, that fails. It's a 13 for wisdom save.
Alright. Cool. So you've been able to charm that one?
And I say, get over here.
It promptly gets over there.
Alright. I'll walk it to the back of the room.
Alrighty. Tinkrip, what would you like to do, Rob?
I cast Vicious Mockery and say, that's enough of that sort of behaviour. Sit down this instant.
Yeah, channeling your inner kindergarten teacher there.
That's right.
That's a flashback. Alright, so Vicious Mockery, that's another wisdom save. Let's see what happens. +1. It rolls a 4. Alright, so the Vicious Mockery that you begin to cast slams this one in full effect, and it basically wobbles mid-air until it just abruptly falls, and when it hits the ground, it just looks completely dazed out of its mind.
You know that that pose that hunters used to strike on top of like tigers and stuff back in the 1930s with their pith helmets on?
Yep.
I do that. I put one foot on the fallen Fae and strike that pose.
Alright. Which is hilarious considering it's about, probably the same size as you are.
Yes.
Alright, so you've captured yours. Michael, what would you like done with Rithgar?
You're doing it 2 rounds or 2 goes?
Oh, I was giving you guys 2 goes for the 1 action, so yeah.
Okay, well I'll cast Vicious Mockery on another one, just to be...
Yep. In that case, I'll provide whatever Michael would like to do at advantage.
I'm going to try to charm one of them by knocking them out with my rapier.
Fair enough. Alright, well, give me your attack roll. Alright. right, so 24 or a 19. I'm fairly sure you're going to hit with that one. In accompanied by Tinkeret's Vicious Mockery. Flavor it up for me. What happens with this?
The as it swerves by, I just with the guard of my rapier, just smash it in the face, and it goes down like a sack of spuds.
Yep. All right, so that's easy.
Effective.
Sorry, Rob?
I was saying it was effective. I was just saying effective. I was getting praise.
Got it. Well, I know that I tend to do what I'm told after I've been smacked in the face by something. All right, and I think it was Will who went for the last one.
I think that was all of them, wasn't it?
Solturum, Noloth, and Rith. Oh, never mind. You didn't opt for one. Luke, however, you didn't give us your flavor for the one that you were going to do. So it's been slowed. What would you like to do to actually incapacitate it? Lukey? Noloth? Hello? It's probably like, they don't need me right now. Let's step away. All right. I will provide the flavor then. So he manages to overcharge the spell, either from a need to show off his particular magical expertise or no, but the level of slowness that is applied to his specific target basically means that it's now going at an incredibly tiny pace. Basically, you could leave the room for about half an hour. It's only going to be less than half a foot away by that point. So it's more a point of he just walks over to it and just ties it up with it barely being able to move.
That works.
Yep. You guys hear me now, or?
Yeah.
Yep, we can.
Wait.
Alrighty. So you now have managed to successfully disarm and capture the entire Fae population. By this point, the various humanoids are beginning to have a look around, and at that stage, one of them begins to stumble up, and he speaks to you in a broken whatchamacallit, a broken variant of giant. It appears that he is expecting you for whatever reason to be speaking that. He speaks that to Rithgar.
I just stare at him.
All right. When he sees that there is nothing getting through, he just shakes his head and then, rubs his eyes a bit before he clears his throat. What happened here?
We killed the Fae. You're under her spell? You don't remember any of this? Why were you talking in that language?
He just looks at you for a moment before he just frowns. A Fae? You mean like a fairy tale?
Yeah, like a fairy tale, like those like them. Point over to the various tied up butterflies there.
So he looks over and he gives a bit of a jump, and you can hear him beginning to swear in about 3 different languages, all on top of one and the other. Some of the swears are fairly creative, but by the time he finishes doing so, he just looks around the room as if this is the first time he's seeing it. It's a Fae. Well, I can't really remember what's happened over the last I remember, we were coming in the royal keep in order to change shift for Her Royal Highness, but he said that there was a Fae. I can't really remember beyond that. We went through the front doors and that was it.
Well, I guess the princess is dead now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Just say that to a god.
No, I mumble it under my breath. I do not say that to him. He'll lose his shit. Right. Well, he's not really much help. He doesn't remember much after that. Wait, wasn't there? Didn't we know that there was a thing of a reserve of like cold iron that they kept? Or was it just that guy that we're looking for that we banished from the dimension?
Well, that's it. We need cold iron, fool. Where is your cold iron?
So the man in question blinks and just shakes his head. I think you might need to talk to one of our commanders. I'm just cold iron. That sounds like something that Tillett would be handling, but you haven't seen him, have you? He's about middle-aged, fairly brawny.
Yeah, we have. Don't worry about it. He's around somewhere.
I'd say he's in a better place, but we don't really know that. He's in a place. Definitely a place.
He's somewhere.
Well, we don't know that either.
Look, he's gone. Doesn't matter, he's gone. He was here and now he's not. So he's functionally useless.
Alright, you just get a bit of a strange look before he just begins muttering under his breath again in the Broken Giant, and then he looks around the room. That be one of the commanders over there. I'll get her to have a talk with you, and she might be able to sort it out with the cold iron and what have yous. Alright, so the...
She's dead, isn't she? Like, not like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely dead.
Hmm.
Well, something that looked like the princess was pretty badly dead.
What deaded her again? Sorry, I've forgotten.
Something sharp.
That's right, but we don't know what.
No. I've got this fey under my power at the moment, gentlemen. Perhaps we should see what information we can extract with him before I have to tie him up before the spell runs out.
Alright.
Yep.
Do that, yeah.
Alright, I point at the Fae that I've got charmed and say, Fae, over here now.
Alright, so the Fae stumbles to his feet, and you can see that he seems to be struggling a little bit, but under the influence of your power, he eventually submits and stumbles over.
What's your name?
He glowers at you, and again, you guys can still see him struggling against it, but eventually he grits out, "Trevin, my lord."
Well, Trevin, perhaps you can help us out and answer a few questions for us.
He seems to regard that as a statement or a request, and he doesn't actually reply, he just glowers at you.
Well, Trevin, how did you come to be in this room with the what's the name of them? With Lady Rhiannon?
So, it takes another moment before he very begrudgingly spits out, "I was flying too close to her ladyship's power, and eventually I succumbed to her will. She maintained control over me after I entered her domain and consumed the food that she had left out."
So she's not your liege.
He gives a bit of a snort. "None commands my loyalty save the king himself."
And where presently is your king?
Right. So at this particular point, you can see a magical symbol abruptly flare up on a previously invisible choker around his throat. And when that occurs, you begin to smell a burning sensation, and he begins making a gagging sound as the choker abruptly tightens upon him.
Well, looks like he's got a bomb in his head, figuratively.
Or he's a slave?
Was that Running Man? Is that the movie?
Can I do an Arcana check on the collar?
Yes, you may.
Is he joking or is he just is the collar going to kill him, or is it just restricting his ability to speak?
He's choking. Or rather, being choked.
I got a 25.
Oh, yep, there it is. 25. All right. It takes you but a brief moment to identify what the choker is. It is a bit of an old school method of enforcing a geas upon someone. It's basically a mage item. If anybody tries to speak and give information that the mage or the caster does not want heard, then it basically will activate and attempt to either prevent the person from speaking outright on that topic if it is generous, and in more harsh ones, it will just outright try and kill whoever is wearing it.
All right, Trevin, I take that question back. I don't want to know where your king is.
Quick thing, can I use remove curse to get rid of it?
Yes, you know that you should be able to use remove curse. You will need to overpower the level of the curse, though.
Cool. I've just gotta do some sorcery point bullshit first.
Oh, good. Sorcery point.
As we call it in the trade.
I think I just had to use a level 2, gain my sorcery points back, then use a level 3, and then be out of sorcery points.
Wait, say again.
If I use a level 2 sorcery spell slot, I gain 3 sorcery points.
Yep.
And then I can use that to get a level... I can use 5 sorcery points to get a level 3 slot, I think it is.
Ah, I got it.
Yeah, cool. And then I will use remove curse.
Alrighty. So remove curse, that's a level 3 under normal circumstances, isn't it?
Yep.
Alright. Okay, so your magic begins to war with the magic which is contained within the collar until there is an abrupt pop and some unseen stitches at the back of the collar abruptly break and it falls to the ground. Trevin looks down in shock at the collar before he looks a little bit nervously towards the mage who has been able to overpower his whoever put that on there.
Can I keep that collar and use it later?
If you are capable of deciphering it, you might be able to do so.
Okay. What's
All right.
Arcana checks later.
Yep.
All right. Trevan, your king, where is he?
So he rubs his throat rather ruefully. The king will be in the autumn palace across the river, but none of you humans will be able to get to it. He's ordered the storm hag to protect the city and keep all of you humans in it.
Who are you calling human?
He just gives you a look and then sniffs and looks away.
Where's the storm hag?
You're never gonna find her. The storm hag, she might be riding around the city at the morning or in the evening, but you're never gonna catch up to her. But any other time, she remains within her realm, and the only way you're gonna open that one is if you can either beat her pet or maybe bribe it if you're really lucky.
Her pet.
Ah, yeah, her pet. It's she keeps a dragon turtle she managed to find and tame, and she uses it as her doorman. It's a pretty stupid thing, but it's good at keeping out the threats.
Who occupies the castle presently?
What do you mean by that question?
Are we? I thought. Are we inside the which part of the castle are we in?
You're currently in the Royal Keep. Yep.
Yeah.
So you're in the Royal Keep of Thulcha.
Yeah. So we are inside the main part of the castle where the other clan was based.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, what other questions should we ask him while he's under my sway?
We got to find out where your double is, so you get back your powers, mate.
All right, Trevan, look at me. Have you seen me anywhere else in this castle?
So Trevan stops for a moment, and you can see that his expression shifts to one which is a little bit more mischievous and coy. I've seen you a few times. I might need to be a bit specific.
Well, look, I'm not a man of violence, Trevan, but my colleagues are. I'm more than happy for you to answer my questions or allow them to encourage you to answer them. So, can you be specific as to where you have seen me?
He does a deep inhale and seems to be just taking his time to think it over. A full 2 minutes.
Rivka, can you please come over here?
Sleep on him.
Our friend Trevan here might need some encouragement.
Do you want me to cast sleep on him? I say, hefting my rapier.
I look at Trevan and raise my eyebrow.
Trevan meets your gaze. I'm the only one that has this information you want. If you do anything to me, you're not going to get it.
I doubt that.
Well,
I'm prepared.
it'd be fun living your life like as a torso.
Look, if you really want, mate, I can fucking make you my slave. Alright? It's not gonna be hard for me to do.
Can I use my... Oh, sorry, I don't know why that opposed to the wrong thing. My Fey presence to... I know he's already charmed, but to try to get him further on side.
Nope.
Oh my.
Fey presence to get him on side. If you would like to do a persuasion check to that effect, you may try.
Do you want me to try that?
Yeah. Yeah, my persuasion is +0. So.
Yeah. Is it a straight persuasion check, Sam?
Yep. Whew. Rob. A 10 with Tinkrit.
Well,
Don't forget your glamour wave.
oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
The D4 makes all the difference.
That's D6. 1.
And all right, so an 11. All right, so what you are going to do is going to be a bit of a failure. Flavor it up for me. So he's not going to be convinced, and he's going to basically be absolutely convinced that he holds all the cards here because he has the information you want. So, Rob, what do you say to him?
I try to say these really clever things, but I just trip over them all the time, and my capabilities in this area are so much diminished that I get frustrated and my face goes red. And then I decide to use intimidation instead. and draw my rapier.
All right. And get a 12 instead.
Oh, wait. It's better.
It's true, by 1 point. Oh, that was close. Okay, so coming up with the 6, so for an 18 in total. All right. So, your intimidation is going to do much better, and for this purpose, I'd recommend for the flavoring, you instead of using your actual weapon, you might use the iron dagger instead. So, what do you do?
I use the cold iron dagger, and I deftly remove one of his fingernails.
That sounds...
I can do this all day and love it. So tell my friend Salty here what he needs to know, or I get to work on my manicurist stuff.
All right. So Trevin looks absolutely horrified by the fact that you've managed to somehow remove his fingernails with a knife, but more importantly, he seems more disturbed by the fact that his fingernails aren't immediately growing back. His eyes just warily focus on the dagger, and you can see that he's edging around, just trying to put Soltura in between him and yourself.
Stay still, Trevor.
All right, I'll...
Don't stay still, please.
So he begins having a look around before he focuses his attention at the center of the group, where it looks like about 4 or 5 pixie-like beings seem to currently be huddled up. Alright, so one of that lot over there is probably the thing that you're looking for.
Cool. I hope you're lying.
So he just gives you a look. I mean, I'm not going to lie to someone who has cold iron.
Well, who's going to check it out?
Can I make an insight check, not on him, but on the other people, to see if some of them aren't who they seem to be?
Yes, you may.
Roll.
Have a bardic inspiration.
Oh, right, thank you. Which I might need.
Alright, so that's a unnatural 18 with bardic inspiration. Alright, so Will, as you begin to look over, you can see that the various pixies who are currently gathered there, they seem to have adopted a very innocent looking expression, as if they are trying not to draw attention to themselves. Now, in particular, you can see that all of them seem to look exactly identical to one another at the current time, but you surmise that it might be somewhat easy to try and trick one of them to using some of their newfound powers that they would have gotten from Solturum.
Right. Well, who's the most deceptive out of us? Tinkret, would you like to maybe urge one of our little pixie friends over there to showing us maybe a little parlour trick? What do you think? That might show us which one is who we're after. So how many were of the pixies were there, sorry?
There's 5 at the current time.
5. Or I could just get the cold dagger and stab every one of them. What do we think, boys?
Can I just cast Detect Magic and see if one of them's a little bit off?
You may be able to do so. For this one, it's going to require a fairly honed sense of magic, so you're going to pretty much have to roll a natural 18 or higher.
Can I assist him by waving the cold iron dagger in their direction?
To detect magic?
Well, to make them scared.
I will allow it. Alright, hit me up with your roll. There's that 18 that that 18 that I needed is right there. All right, you got lucky with that one. All right, so Norloth. Like I said, it requires a fairly sensitive person in order to go through and sense exactly which one is a little bit more magically powerful than the others. But if you are going by the mage sight kind of flavor, there is one which glows a little bit more intensely, and when you look over at Solturum, glows with a similar color to what you recognize his magic to look like. So flavor it up for me. What do you do?
I'm going to grab the cold iron dagger Tinkret and just grab that one by the neck and just slit its throat.
All right. So the rest of you witness Norloth just abruptly jumping in with speeds that you've probably only really seen from either Will jumping into the hunt or Rithgar upon seeing that black cap from before. There is a sudden squeak, a fairly high-pitched one from the pixie, as abruptly its throat is cut, and Solturum, everybody gets immediately blasted away from your presence as what feels like lightning just abruptly comes out of nowhere through the ceiling and slams into you, creating a shockwave which just knocks everyone back away from you.
Oh, yeah.
Scream out, you're welcome.
How about a weird sack? Is that what you called it?
Can't speak, filling with power.
Is there any other flavor you would like to add to your recalibration?
I feel an immense surge of energy transfer into me, which jolts me back. My shoulders go back and my arms go back, and my eyes begin to glow a bright golden color, and I start laughing joyously before coming back to myself. And with a smile on my face, I look across at Norloth and say, "Well done, thank you."
I slap him on the back and say, "Welcome back, Salty."
Thank you, Tinkred. It's good to be back.
All right. So
Let's go burn some of these Fae up.
Fire North. Can't wait.
I'm kind of out of fireballs at the moment, so it's up to you.
We need a rest.
Yeah, I need a rest. I've got no wild shapes. I'm very tired.
Should we take these guys back to the port and then rest up?
Too heavy.
Do any of them want to assist us, like the from the other tribe, assist us in taking on the hag?
assist them in what now?
Well, the next step is for us to take on the hag. To any of the other tribe that are alive down here.
Oops. Not mean to roll
When
it.
I
Oh,
did-
no, I didn't mean to roll it. That's me convincing them. I'm convincing them to join.
All right. Well, Addison, I know for a fact that was a mistake. But if you are able to inspire me enough, you guys may get assistance from the clan members who are capable of paying attention. So,
Alright, I've told them. Right. See that little ship right there, right in front, the one that we slayed, the Rhiannon. She enchanted you for who knows how long. She murdered your princess. Don't you want to get revenge on the one who told her to do that? The one who's brought us to the land that's taken so much of your power and your lives. Do you not want to avenge your fallen comrades? Those of your clan that have fought hard to protect those of you who are living. I suggest you come with us and give us a hand in fighting wherever we have to fight.
That's me playing inspiring music behind him as he's giving that speech.
Actually, I'll just do the Braveheart. I say the Braveheart speech after that.
I was literally about to say, well, at least we got away without getting a Braveheart reference, but damn. Alrighty. So, what do you think, guys? Was that suitably inspiring?
I was inspired to play.
I put my earwax back in.
Ooh.
Just not as good as you used to be, man.
All right. So I'm going to grant that one, Will. So as you guys begin to gather up the various members of Clan Coldstreak and Solvkling, will you and lead them down and through the city? You are able to begin to talk with everyone and just really get that adrenaline going for absolutely everyone that you're talking to. And in particular, you do inform them of the unfortunate passing of both the princess as well as the children, which, shockingly, none of them were particularly a fan of. And by the time you have led everybody back to the warehouse, all of these people are functionally out for blood as best as they can. So, to the point where even as you get to the warehouse itself, many of the members of Clan Solvkling and Coldstreak break away and begin to take to the streets to battle the Fae away from the warehouse and try to establish a safe area for everyone.
Right. Well, in that time, let's take a nap, guys.
Yes, sounds like a good idea. I need all my very limited resources.
All right. So as you enter the warehouse, Solithime very quickly runs up to you guys, and with a wide-eyed look, he just sees all the various warriors. Where are all these men coming from? And he just abruptly stops before he narrows his eyes. Wait. What was the mission that you said that you were going out on before you left here last time?
Did we not say we were going to the? Where are we now? Where were we?
We're going to kill the fake queen.
Rhiannon,
Right.
right?
With that, he nods his head. Excellent. It is you. Without the iron dagger, I felt it more prudent just to ensure that it had been you at the time. But it looks like you may have been successful in finding and saving these soldiers.
I mean, pretty much.
From both tribes, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
But unfortunately, we zapped the guy who can make cold iron for another plane.
You what?
Well, Rhiannon did, really.
Oh, that's dire news indeed. You still have the dagger at least, I suppose, but he stops for a moment, and you can see that he seems to just be outright calculating what to do from here. I suppose I might be able to get together with some of the other mages, assuming that there are mages among those that you've apparently recovered, in order to try and see whether we might be able to just outright recreate the cold iron recipe. But understandably, this has been a Vaaderlund secret for centuries. I wouldn't necessarily be holding out much hope on it.
Sam, my character is from Vaaderlund. He's actually from Chill Harbour, as you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have heard any knowledge over my years growing up as an urchin? Maybe just getting secrets and things?
Ooh, that is a good question. I hadn't honestly thought about it. This is the sort of thing that would be kept secret by specific Jarl's blacksmiths who would, again, directly serve the Jarls and so forth. So it would be a very hard to come by secret. So feel free to roll for it if you're inclined.
Sure, what would I roll?
So pretty much this is going to be a bit of a retroactive thing, but let us roll either investigation or history in this case.
Both I'm not good at.
14. All right. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like you have encountered that particular recipe or secret throughout your childhood.
Right. Yeah, no. Look, I thought I might have known something, but yeah, nothing, unfortunately. So I'm of no help, Solistone.
Well, that is unfortunate, but I suppose that if you had known the recipe, you likely would have brought it up by now. But you followed the rhyme that you were provided, and you were obviously victorious. You were able to strike down the Fey Lady?
We did indeed. We did indeed.
All right. Well, I've been speaking with more of the men to try and find out some more details about the rhyme, and apparently the next rhyme will refer to what we call in common the Storm Hag. They call her Uverhex in the original language, in the original myths here, but she is a powerful Fey Lady in her own right, but we do have a bit of good luck in that she apparently does not get along well with many of the other Fey kings and queens. It's likely that if she is here, she is doing it under duress, so we might be able to get an opening and bargain with her, so to speak.
I do like the idea of bargaining rather than having to take it down.
Do you?
Well, considering how much, almost two. How many of you almost died that last fight? 2 of you, right? It's not exactly. I can't imagine it should be as easy as random.
I think that we might have a few surprises left.
Well, I suppose that the first thing that we'll need to worry about is finding the Storm Hag. She is apparently quite difficult to locate under the best of circumstances, but all I've really been advised is that she tends to prowl around whatever her territories at both morning and dusk, but aside from that, the men were not really able to provide me with much more information.
Only we had Trimp.
Mm.
Well, that's,
Solturan could probably flush her out.
yes, he probably could.
He does that lightning spell, one where he gets the glowy eyes.
Oh yes. Oh, it's a fun that one.
I bet he misses that.
I missed that
You-
one.
you-
Storm Rage.
You guys just look over at Solturum and he's doing it now.
Yeah. My eyes are already glowing.
He's going Thor. He's going Thor.
Static electricity is starting to ripple all over my body.
No, mate, not.
While we're discussing this,
Why don't we just summon her to bargain with then?
Does anyone know how?
You do.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. Right, yeah, you're right. With this new necklace that I found around the neck of Rhiannon, I can summon someone from, I can summon some kind of fae. We might have to pay her for her service though.
pay her with her own blood.
I like that idea. Actually. That's good.
Well, do you guys have any spells that can capture a fae?
Does anyone know Magic Circle?
No.
Okay, because I have planar binding, which I can attempt to bind a fae to my service, or a celestial, elemental, fae, or fiend to my service. So if I can summon her, and then we have to be able to trap her for long enough for me to bind her.
Okay.
And how long's that?
That's an hour. It takes an hour to cast a spell, and then once that spell's cast, she's bound to my control for 24 hours.
You can't get her to kill herself by any chance, can you?
Well, the bound creature must follow my instructions to the best of its ability. I might command it to accompany us on the adventure, guard the location, or deliver a message. The creature obeys to the letter of my instructions, but if the creature is hostile to me, it strives to twist my words to achieve its own objectives. So it doesn't outright say it can't kill itself, but I'm sure it still acts under its own will, so it probably won't kill itself.
Would it kill my double?
It would try to the best of its ability, yes.
Should we give the cold iron dagger back to this guy while we have a nap, so he just test everyone he's let in while we were out?
Can we just make sure that in the period that we've been gone, that he hasn't been replaced by a fae?
Just touch the cold iron to his pinky.
Mm-hmm.
He gives a bit of a sigh, but does allow for the cold iron to touch him. There is no reaction.
Right, good. Thanks, mate.
And he should probably test everyone else who's come in while we're all gone, just in case.
Yes, I will take guard of this, and we will ensure that there were no changelings among those members that you have brought in with us.
Good idea.
Alright, so in terms of you guys taking a rest, are you wanting to take a long rest or a short rest? Because at the moment you guys have been going on long enough that it's now well into the evening, so if you guys would like to meet her under normal circumstances, you would have to wait until dawn, otherwise you might need some preparation to try and bind a Fey lady against her will.
Let's try and do that. But I just want to add a quick word to the Tinkrit and Solturum Adventuring and Hardiness Co-Proprietary Limited before, and out of the
Hearing of the Dungeon Master.
Soul Fine.
Sam, can you please leave the chat for 10 minutes?
Goodbye. Yeah,
No.
ban him.
No. Sam can hear. It's. Hey guys, just want to make something perfectly clear. What are we being paid to do this? A pittance, have we not?
That's fair.
Yeah, but who is left to renegotiate?
So,
Who's left to renegotiate the contract though, Tinkrit? Sulfine?
Well, contract schmontract, I say. Both our people, both prince and princess are dead, are they not?
Don't know
No,
about
no.
Prince.
No, I mean he's dead.
Oh, right, yeah, he's dead.
And isn't the winner of this maid owns the kingdom? Isn't that why the Fae are trying to do this?
To be honest, mate, I just did it to get away from some trouble, so I did not pay attention when I signed up.
So who would like to rule a kingdom?
With what subjects, mate? This is. Did you? If you don't remember, this was an abandoned city.
I don't think you win a kingdom for it. I think this was a way of ensuring peace. It was a way of diverting warlike energies into a competition, which meant the two clans didn't murder each other all year round.
Well, that's good. That worked for X amount of years. Now another way to have peace is for us to rule the whole thing.
I think I'd be naturally good at it.
Yeah, I think you'd be a wonderful enforcer.
We all glance at him, glance back at each other. Just we all shake our head with our eyes.
Yeah.
Setting up season 3. Kill Victor.
King Rutger.
no, everyone, playing Tieflings next season.
Hi, sheriff.
Oh god.
And now I'm having Blazing Saddles flashbacks. So the prince and the princess are representative of two different councils. Basically, one which is made up of the Jarls of Clan Coldstreak, the other one of the Jarls of Clan. Wow, I mentally blanked on this. Solkling. They are not the absolute rulers. Basically, all of Vaaderlund is ruled by this council of Jarls themselves.
So, my understanding was the Fae were trying to win this battle, weren't they?
It was a ambiguous piece of wording, basically, that the Fae took as acceptance that yes, if they win this, they then have the permission to enter the mortal realm and claim the kingdom as their own.
Well, are we saying that they're wrong?
I'm
Well,
guessing. Well, I'm thinking that the Fae, they believe that if they win, they can enter the mortal realm out of the Fae Wilds and then slowly take over the rest of the country, then the continent, then the world.
So we can disabuse them of that.
What happens if they lose? What is the downside of this for them? They just stay in the Feywilds?
Well, if we overthrow their king, I guess they're out of rulers and they're in a whole lot of chaos.
They're also massive pains in the ass. Can you imagine ruling a bunch of Fae? Ugh.
If anything, we're doing the king a favour.
Norloth,
Yeah.
what would you say?
Can Tinker become the faking?
Maybe Trimp can.
No. Bad idea.
I'd be happy enough with the Sultruan and Tinkrit adventuring and starting this company becoming the sole and monopolistic source and purveyor of cold iron to the rest of the known world.
Yes, I think that's a sterling idea. So it's something we need to see happen. So my point is, are the Fae? Are we? One of the things we can talk to the hag if we get hold of her is is she barking up the wrong tree? Is she putting all this effort into something that's not going to happen? Even if she wins the war, they're not going to be given control. The clans will rise up. They have cold iron. They're going to get their ass kicked.
Well, we know that the hag doesn't like the rest of them. I guess we want to know what the hag's ultimate goal is and see if we can work with her to achieve that. And then ultimately, I guess, betray her at the end.
Yes.
I think if I can summon her, we ask her that and try and get on her side, or at least make her believe that we're on her side for a time.
Why not be on her side? She wants to be free. We help her be free. We can tell her the stupidity of their plan and help her break free.
All right, then. Let's do it tomorrow morning.
Do we need to kill any Fae? Before they started picking on us, we were happy to live and let live, were we not?
Unless they came in our way.
That's right. So, if she gets in our way, we'll fucking kill her.
Well, with respect to Ingrid, we are going to have to kill at least one more. Because you...
Shouldn't we go off the breeze and get our stuff back?
Yeah, but also Tinkrit needs to regain his stolen bodies.
Yes, I do.
That's a good idea. That's probably a better idea to do first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have to kill 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, 3 if we're killing the king,
True.
which is our best way out of here.
Let's just call it a baker's dozen.
Yes.
Right. Well, I think we wait for tomorrow. Either we try and find the hag without me summoning her, or we just summon it outright. That way I've got all my powers back. I can do my best to bind her if she won't cooperate. What do you guys think? Because our best option is obviously working with this hag. I guess we might be able to get your bargaining back.
I think that's right. We also need to understand why she's even cooperating.
Yeah, because we know that she doesn't like who she's supposedly working with.
Well, let's do that then. Let's try and bring her in for a conversation.
Also, the riddle says
On the Storm Hag. Bring her in for questioning.
the riddle also
Bring her down
says
the station.
your form lies in the hall of the court of the hag. So
Oh, yes, and not hag.
yeah, she knows if this is the hag we're talking about. She knows where your power is.
Yeah. And she might be able to let us in past her dragon turtle.
Yeah, if not, we're gonna have to pay a pretty penny.
Can I do a nature check on a dragon turtle right now, actually?
Good question. Give me a sec. Yes.
Or would Arcana be better?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I think it's going to be a nature one, but you know what? Hit me up with
What
nature.
would you suggest if you're trying to learn about a dragon?
Oh, I got a 20.
Really?
Yep. Not a nat, but 20.
It's not rolling on my side. Where is it?
I rolled twice on mine. I got a 20 and a 12.
It says that you've rolled once on mine and you got the 12.
Now, there's a 20 Arcana. Oh, yeah, nature you were rolling. Yeah, I can only see that.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. That was the one from before. Sorry. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, I'll go with the 12.
All right, the 12. All right, so you don't know too much about dragon turtles, just that they tend to be one of the greater threats of the sea for those who are looking to take a voyage. They tend to be hoarders along the lines of dragons themselves, but you aren't entirely sure exactly what their weaknesses and so forth might be, nor exactly how close to actual dragons they would also be.
Right. Well,
Sorry, guys.
it's alright. Can't know everything. Even though I pretend to.
Literally one of my character traits.
Yeah, let's just summon her and ask.
Right.
Do we have a long rest first?
We don't have to fight Dragon Turtle. I think
I'd
that
like,
makes sense to me.
I'd like to do that tomorrow if possible.
Yeah, long rest, and we can perhaps break now.
Yes. That makes sense to me.
Yep. All right. So, if that's the case, you guys are going to be initiating a long rest, no problems. Do you guys want to do an IRL break for about 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, Lucas.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Ah, got it. Sorry. All right. So in that case, yeah, if you guys want to come back at 9:40, I will pause the recording in 3, 2, 1, now. All right, gentlemen. So you're all taking a long rest as of tonight. Luke, you said that for your off-duty thing, you were wanting to try and see if you can gather more information on the Storm Hag.
Yep.
You rolled, what was it?
At 13.
Yep, a 13. All right. So, to this point, during your various hours of study, you and talking with the other natives of Vaaderlund, you were able to establish that the Storm Hag is a Fey Queen of some renown, but most importantly, she seems to stick to herself in terms of, stick to her own business and not really get involved with the affairs of anybody else. You do know that she does tend to be a stickler for manners, and in that particular one, she also seems to quite enjoy putting people into difficult social situations. In particular, she does also try and take advantage of, or at least many of her legends mention, that many mortals have been caught in her realm simply because they have consumed some of her food and partook in her hospitality. Aside from that, you haven't really gotten any further information about her personality, nor any method of summoning and binding her for any long period of time.
Okay, so don't eat her food, guys, and be nice.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to do during their long rest as well, aside from rest?
Yeah, could I go around asking if any mages know the spell Magic Circle?
Magic Circle. Ooh. Give me a second. Let's find out. With an 11. It looks like there are 3 mages there who know the theory, but unfortunately do not have the spell as part of their repertoire. Considering the contest that they were coming into, they did not make any preparations or purchase any of the supplies necessary to actually cast it.
Right, fucking useless. Anyway, looks like we have no way to trap her if we need it. Unless we surround each other with a whole bunch of cold iron, which we don't have either.
No, we don't.
Sam, am I sleeping okay at the moment?
You are sleeping as well. Well, Rithgar is sleeping as well as Rithgars do. So sleep is a little bit disjointed, but at least for tonight, you seem to get a little bit more rest than you normally would.
Right. My mind is now basically a share house.
A share house and an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Anything else for the long rest?
Nope, not for me.
All right. So you guys wake up the next morning feeling fully rested and prepared for your day. Tinkrit, can I please get a Constitution saving throw on your behalf?
What now?
All right. So, Tinkrit, were you one of the ones who... No, you weren't one of the ones who had exhaustion from the previous day. So,
Right.
the Tinkrit, when you wake up that morning, you do not feel rested whatsoever. It feels as if you'll wake up even more tired than you had gone to bed, and as a result, you are going to wake up with 1 level of exhaustion.
Did I get my spells back?
You will get your spells back, yes.
Good, because I was about to fall on my sword.
It's just like, it's all right, you re-roll, we'll wait.
Yeah. Right. I feel like shit. Let's get me back to full power.
Alright, good idea. Right, now, With my ability to summon her, we know that she does go around in the mornings, and it is currently morning, so would we like to find her before I use it, or do you want me to just flat out summon her now?
Let's see if we can find her first before you waste a spell slot. Or before you use that spell. I think that's...
Alright, let's do that, Amy. Where would we go to find her, though? She just wanders, doesn't she? Or does she wander her keep?
So from all reports, she tends to wander throughout the rivers and oceans of all the places that she considers part of her territory. So considering you guys are fairly close to the river right now, with the warehouse directly backing onto it, you can either try and keep an eye out directly there, but by the time you kind of see her and react to her, she might be a bit too close for you to do that reasonably. That being said, the river around Thogcha is fairly narrow, and it does not actually have any branches. If you are able to track her, there is going to be a fairly good chance that you'll be able to go upriver and talk to her / trap her there.
We don't want to trap her, we just want to talk to her. Are we? We're just trying to do this the nice way, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with that one.
Can I turn into a killer whale and patrol the waters to find her?
Quick moment.
Just give it to him. Just give it to him.
Is killer whale salt water or fresh?
Only talking Willy.
Okay, I can turn into a giant snapping turtle or a quipper if you like. I have other options.
Bullshot
is just the strongest. I don't think I have shark yet, actually.
Megalodon.
Oh god.
I wish.
That'd be awesome.
And it does turn out that killer whales are indeed saltwater.
Okay, I could be hunter or reef shark as well. But I have multiple options. Can I turn into a swimming creature of some sort to find her?
What about a crocodile?
Like,
It'd be a bit cold, wouldn't it?
Or an otter.
What's the weather like? Yeah. An otter?
I could even turn into a constrictor snake and swim.
Alright, so...
For 10 seconds and you go from orca to otter.
So the weather for today is fairly hot and potently hot and dry. It's a...
Crocodile.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah, I think... Actually... No, I think I'll go snapping turtle. That's the strongest of the ones that I have. Just in case we do need to get into a fight. I'll turn into a giant snapping turtle.
Phases you hear in D&D.
I'm gonna lock that in, Eddie, please.
Alright. So my mental image is of you guys like standing in next to the boats in the warehouse, and then just abruptly there's a snapping turtle there. Nobody bats an eyelid. You're just there.
I like to think he changed into the orca first and turned out it was salt water only.
Will is like, are these guys salt water or fresh water? Let me find out for a moment.
My intelligence is only 8, so it was likely.
Fair. Alright, so you are now a giant snapping turtle. So is there any other preparations you guys would like to do in anticipation of trying to communicate with the storm hag?
Have any of the there's been like low level skirmishing between the soldiery and the Fae, hasn't it?
Between the what, sorry?
The soldiers and the Fae?
I'm sorry, there's been low level
Fighting and
Oh yes, there has been consistent fighting throughout the night.
any casualties?
Let me do another quick roll. That's like the third one I've had to do. I really should be more prepared, huh? A 7. All right. So it looks like throughout the night there have been a number of attacks which have been made on behalf of the various clans members against the members of against the Fae. Unfortunately, it does look like they have not been able to make much headway, and as a result, there have been numerous injured which have returned back to the warehouse, particularly from those members who had been in the Royal Keep, as many of them were still recovering from exhaustion. So, unfortunately, there wasn't much that was done in that regard.
Okay. But no one's died yet.
No one's died. Most people have just been grievously injured or have been reduced to exhaustion.
Cool.
I know how that feels.
Which I think is Rob's way of saying, mood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, so no other preparations from y'all?
No.
No. Alrighty, in that case. So, you guys begin to stake out the river in order to catch sight of her, and even from a distance, it isn't long before you can hear the sound of an immense rush of water just being completely displaced. I'm not entirely sure what exactly your characters were expecting, but there is an abrupt moment where the water of the river just leaves the where you currently are before it returns in a great rush of water which just swoops by. As it does so, you keep an eye on it, and those of you of a high enough perception, so in this case 16, you'll see that as the water goes by, it appears to have a strangely serpentine look to it. However, as it does go by, the water does eventually return to its previous form. However, it is obviously a lot more rougher.
And were we able to call out or anything during this time?
I'm just giving you guys the flavor. If you would like to try and catch the attention, you may do so.
Yoo-hoo!
Now I just have the mental image of like Tinkrit wearing a long frilly dress and in drag, waving a handkerchief.
Well, whatever works.
In a skirt up over one leg.
Yes, showing the thigh.
Them ankles, man.
Yeah, he's got cankles.
Got to show off them hairy toes.
Yes.
All right. So the rush of water is quite loud. In order to get the attention, you will need to do either you will need to do a performance or a constitution check to determine the state of your lungs. 14 for Tinkrit.
I can use what's his name, the thing on it as well.
All right. So, sorry, what?
The glamour weave thing.
Okay, so you rolled a 16 total. It looks like she rolled an 18, however, and your attempts to call out to this strange aquatic water serpent go completely unnoticed.
What? With my bagpipes?
Apparently.
If I use my bagpipes so I get another thing, or is it just... Can I try and blow a massive blast on the bagpipes?
I will grant you one more action, but then your companions will be able to do something.
Okay. Can't even see what that is.
And then abruptly there's just a honk of outrage. It is a beautiful day, and you are a terrible halfling.
That's right.
Alright, so that's 22. It sounded like you have a cat who swallowed a phone.
Oh, that was out of my mouth.
Oh, you swallowed the phone.
Hey, we don't kink shame Rob. Alright, so after his yoo-hoo goes unheeded, Tinkrit abruptly pulls out his bagpipes, and the blast of sound is enough that the majority of you are left a little bit, starstruck slash... what is it? No, sorry, shell-shocked. You're a little bit shell-shocked from it.
I'm really shell-shocked because I have a shell.
Ah. I see what you did there.
Get out of this podcast.
Bye.
Craig just left.
I'm back.
I didn't even summon him. Craig doesn't even go here. Oh, that reminds me. Hey, Luke F., were you here for my pun the other week?
Don't do it again.
Oh, come on. That pun was great.
I was. You don't need to repeat it.
Thank you. Excellent.
Who wasn't used to saying that?
Hey, you guys all said I got a nat 20 for it. So I'm going with what I got. All right.
It was actually legitimately good for you, Sam.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Backhanded.
Oh, no, I'm accepting it as a compliment because I know what my puns are like normally.
Sorry, mate.
No, my puns are terrible. I accept that.
Actually, can someone help me out here? My character has lost all its feats, and now I can only have grappler or sylvan magic.
You have to join the... What's his name again?
Oh yeah, how do I join the campaign again?
That is a good question.
I'll put the invite in. I think it's just.
I think there should be a drop-down link. Oh, like, you didn't just outright leave the campaign with the previous one, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Can just go.
In a fit of pique, he left.
What? Bye.
He left when Craig left.
Okay. Continue.
All right. So, with the attention drawn, you guys witness the massive water serpent abruptly turning in place. And abruptly, all of the water begins to head back towards you. Now, currently gunning towards your immediate location, you have this immense wall of water, and it doesn't look like it's actually slowing down at the current time. What would you guys like to do?
I think maybe we should fly above it, don't you?
I cannot fly.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll pull out my broom of flying. Secret, do you want them?
On, yes.
And can I also cast Kinetic Barrier, just in case?
Sure.
Will that surround me as well?
I think it's just me.
No, you're on your own. He did the broom. You take the rest of it from there.
Yeah, it's just me, sorry.
Is there any
Yes.
higher ground I can get to, Sam?
So I'm going under the premise, because you guys didn't really say otherwise, that you decide to wait for her right by the warehouse. So you kind of have the top of the warehouse, but at the same time you've also now have a fairly formidable wave of water heading directly for the warehouse and everybody within.
Ah, shit.
Alright. I'm going to run in and tell everyone we've got to run, there's a wall of water coming, and we've got to flee to higher ground.
The children promptly begin screaming.
Oh.
Jump
Pick
on the
them up.
giant turtle.
Yeah, I am large.
Okay, I start trying to hurry up, grab the children, run!
Get to the chopper.
Won't somebody please think of the... No, don't you mean get to the snapper in this case?
Yes.
Sam, do you reckon with wings of flying I could grab a child and still take off?
Yes. And I would like to clarify that the child is going to be lighter than a halfling and cannot be recreated later.
What? Sorry.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to mute.
I was more concerned for you.
And everyone, this is how we have somebody die. Please don't die. That would make me very sad.
First death recorded on the podcast, though. Come on.
True.
Is that not a good record?
I'm sure there's one for dark web.
No, that's true.
We can do like the old school, ads. And next week, one of us dies. And people are like, oh my god, it's going to be Tinkrit, but then you know it's actually one of the players.
Yeah, we don't.
Technically, the character dies too. Yeah.
No, she just becomes an NPC.
Alright, so you're picking up a child. Yep, go for it. There are a total of, I think I put in 9 children here.
Good stuff.
I might have to change back and.
You kind of octopus. You can hold it up above your head.
That actually might be a good idea. Let's see if I do have some kind of giant squid.
Then you can hold 9, because yeah, you got 10 arms.
Giant. I do have giant octopus. Or. Hang on. Let's see. Do I have squid? No. I could be giant octopus. Will all of my tentacles be able to grab a child?
You can grab onto children, or you can grab onto 8, but that kind of doesn't leave you tentacles to actually move.
That's true. I could grab 4 children. That's probably my best bet. Alright, someone has to deal with the next 3. I'll turn out of a thing and turn into an octopus. Grab 4 children.
See, what I like here is that as soon as there is a tidal wave heading towards the place, that both Solturum and Will immediately try and safeguard the children. Norloth just picks up the halfling.
Still safeguarding a child.
That's definitely going to go well for him on this year's performance review.
See, this Tinkrit owns the company. I think I'm good.
Touche. Alrighty, so
We can fit one on, Norloth. Remember, we're really light and it can do X amount. We could probably fit one more on, couldn't we?
Yeah. Just let me get up its weight limit.
did Rithgar want to do anything?
I'm going to climb on top of the warehouse.
Can I put these kids in a bag of holding?
Technically, yes, but they all need to be able to hold their breath.
Yeah, well, like Con 8, you can hold your breath for a minute. I just need to get them out of the way of the wave.
Quickly, children, get inside Daddy Norloth's bag.
There's candy in there.
There's a chocolate house.
Right.
So many things wrong with that. Anyway.
It can carry 400 pounds. I think I'm 100. I'm 104.
Yeah,
How much do you think, Red?
I don't know, 50?
So it could probably carry like 2 or maybe 3 kids.
I'm 32 pounds. So with the stuff I'm
awesome.
carrying, probably 50.
Yeah. So we probably carry 4 kids on there then.
Yeah.
Alright, if that's what you guys want to do, I will let you do it.
There's room on the broom.
Say that 10 times real fast.
That.
He's got you there.
That wasn't even an attempt. Alright, so with the other warriors now warned and everybody scrabbling to get things out of the way, the children and in particular the relic, which belongs to Clan Coldstreak, are rapidly gathered up and secured, apparently mostly due to the actions of a bag of holding. I'm just having flashbacks to llamas in hats. You filled your bag with orphan meat. Well, I'm making a meat dragon, not just any meat will do. Alright. So yes, you guys are able to secure the children, and there is an immense crunching noise as the wave of water slams into the warehouse, and you guys can hear a lot of wood and stone just being torn from its previous foundation, and there is a lurch to the entire warehouse. Can I please get dexterity saving throws from everyone?
Even in the air.
Those who are in the air are exempt.
It's the first one, Sam.
The first one? Alright. Will...
I have tentacles. Can I sticky myself?
You do have children as well, though.
Fucking kids.
Alright.
I fling them in the water. Get out of here.
Alright. So, Rithgar, you are going to be able to maintain your footing from here. Will you and the children that you're holding are going to be jostled around. It's not going to do any major damage, but it is going to likely lead to at least a little bit of bruising. So, what flavor would the two of you like to add to that?
I probably stick my 4-3 tentacles to the ground, and then just get the ones with the kids and just bring them in as close as I can, and shield them with my body.
Yep.
And I'll just dexterously squat down on top of the roof with a very low center of gravity.
Fair enough.
Will, have you had a working with children check?
Those exist. I don't think so.
Pretty sure
He's an
Noel
octopus, you tell me.
That guy's an octopus.
I think if he had, he wouldn't have shoved 4 kids in a bag.
Don't put kids in a bag of holding. They can't breathe.
Oh, children can't breathe. Alrighty. So, as the water begins to settle and the swell recedes back into the river, a fairly tall but extremely ugly elderly woman just kind of stares back at all of you. She is fairly gnarled looking. She has what looks like a strange lump atop one of her eyes, as well as hairs growing out of various places, and the hair atop her head is fairly straggly, as if she had been underwater for an incredibly long amount of time. Her clothing likewise looks like it has been waterlogged, and even worse, has been left to rot over that particular for several years, and the stench that comes in as she does is just heavy with the smell of seaweed. So, she gives a very quick look around before she focuses on Tinkrit hovering in the air with Norloth. She beckons with one of her fingers before she calls out, "Are you the one trying to catch my attention with that blasted instrument?"
Hello, dearie. Yes, I was. We hear that
Your Majesty.
you're doing
The
things.
Queen.
I'm trying to be nice, though. I'm trying to be nice. We hear that you've been made to do things or forced to do things you don't want to do, and we were seeking to offer our help.
Alright. So the look on her face just changes to one of outright intrigue. It's been many a century since I've been approached by one of the immortals in order to have a direct discussion. Alright, you have my attention. What do you want?
Well, I start talking about what we've heard about the Fae trying to take over, and like we also tell them that even should they win, that they'll probably find themselves not in the position that they think they were going to be due to the council, and we're hoping that in her magnificence she may enlighten us further as to how she's been drawn into something that she some of her power has been drawn into it, and is there any way in which we can assist her wonderfulness?
So she begins listening to the story, and about halfway through, you can see that she begins to lose a bit of patience with exactly what's been told to her, and by the end of things, she's just outright tapping her foot. I didn't come here to be lectured by some mortal. Honestly, I was expecting something a little bit more interesting. If you think that one of my particular majesty and grace was not aware of this fool plan being conducted by the king, then you're sorely mistaken. I hope you weren't expecting something in return.
No, we weren't. Well, of course I knew you'd work this out. But what about the fools beneath you?
If the fools beneath me want to get dragged into the human wars and taste cold iron, then they weren't exactly fools that I want to remain in my court, now are they?
I wouldn't think so. Is there a fool that looks like me in your court?
I've seen many fools who look like you.
When I say look like me, I mean exactly like me.
So with that, her facial expression changes and twists into an almost cruel smile. At the moment, I am playing hostess to a changeling who I believe has stolen your particular abilities, but I'm probably going to be guessing that you might want to have a stern talk with the young boy.
A stern something.
So with that, she lets out an outright cackle, which is enough to set the hairs at the back of your neck to end. Honestly, if he's getting himself involved in the plans of our king, then he has whatever is coming to him, but obviously being a member of my court, I cannot necessarily allow you to do anything too perfunctory, but frankly, if you would like the chance to try and outwit the boy and regain your particular image, then you may do so, but of course you will have to try and bid to enter my kingdom. Exactly what can you offer me to make me want to let you in?
Well, praise. I am in my full state. I am probably the most renowned bard in the kingdom currently. My songs are sung from the one end to the other, so whether I can offer you a song written in your name that would glorify that name throughout the entire kingdom and ensure that you get the respect, the love, the adoration that one of your power and beauty deserves. But without my full power, I'm unable to do so.
So, her expression changes to yet one which seems to be judging you somewhat harshly once more. Anybody with eyes can tell that nobody is going to be worshipping my majesty, and frankly, I pity anybody who desires to be loved. You see these strapping young men and women here still fear and respect my name, and it has been millennia since I've even walked their lands. Why would I want you to sing a song when I already have somebody singing my acclaim, even using your own appearance?
Well, Lord Tinkrit probably make an observation? With the greatest respect, Your Majesty, I had no idea who you were until I came here. And I would probably say that most of Esturan and of the human, elven, dwarven, and all the other races probably don't either. And that, I think, is the gift that my friend Tinkrit offers you, is not just renown and fear in the Feywilds and the Fey Kingdoms, but renowned and fear throughout more than just the educated magic classes of Esturan.
Our songs have toppled kingdoms in Esturan.
Right. So she begins tapping her foot once more. Your offers are already beginning to bore me. I am more inclined to simply leave you to your devices.
What about the relics?
Madam Hag, what would you like? I will offer you. I will provide you anything you need. Look, I just need you to help us. That's all I ask.
So she stops for a moment and then she specifically looks at Will, Norloth, Solturum, Rithgar, and Tinkrit before she abruptly leans in and grins a completely malevolent look. And even from here, you are able to see that many of her teeth seem to have just outright rotted away from her head. Honestly, dearies, I am a Fey Queen. There is very little I cannot demand, but all I'll ask from each of you is one favour to be granted and requested whenever I so need it. One favour from each of you.
That sounds like a nat one with more steps.
I don't really trust this. Also, can I just say I've let the kids out of the bag by now? Before they die.
That's a good idea. Well, one favour doesn't seem to be one favour versus 5 favours doesn't seem to be fair.
Well, you want to admit, I assume, at least 5 of your warriors into my kingdom to hunt down your doppelganger, so the price of 1 ticket is simply 1 measly little favour.
Well, you could perhaps return that doppelganger to us instead of bringing us to him. And that would be 1 favour to 1 favour, would it not?
Oh,
Sure, your power could manage that.
it is well within my power, but the prestige I would lose from among my court for surrendering one of our own would see me very quickly toppled from my throne, and you do understand I am I covet my throne quite strongly.
You fear your underlings?
I wouldn't necessarily...
I am flabbergasted.
You do not become a Fey Queen by by being egotistical, my young halfling. They are quite inclined to stab me in the back, as I have stabbed many in their backs in my course to ascending to my throne.
So,
Indeed, it is within our natures to always strive higher, and simply put, if I am too weak to maintain my throne, then I am too weak to maintain the balance of the Feywilds.
And this doppelganger? Is he someone who's seeking to stab you in the back?
This doppelganger may do so, but with the power that he has taken, so that you have so generously provided to him, he is under a very close eye at the moment.
Tinkrit, it seems strange to me that the Queen, supposedly having such power over her court, has allowed a member of her court to enmesh himself or herself within the plans of the king and then return to her court. Does that strike you as strange?
It does seem strange. I'm yet to understand how she's been forced into this. Madam, share with us. How are they getting you to do things against your will?
There is no reply that is immediately forthcoming, and the only alteration to her facial expression is a very abrupt flaring of her nostrils. The silence lasts about 10 seconds before she just simply stiffens up. Alright, well, if you are not inclined to pay the price, then I will bid you all a fair day and pass on my fair greetings to the king if you see him.
No. Look, Madam Hag, if you don't mind, look, these fools won't give you a favour, but I'm happy to give you 5.
So she stops for a moment and then she looks directly at you. You're willing to come to my aid at my request 5 times?
I'm happy for
Well, that definitely sounds like slavery with extra steps.
He says, sotto voce.
No, I say that out loud.
Of course, he will retain his freedom. It would not be it is simply 5 favours.
5 favours that put us at risk? 5 favors.
What's the range of these favors?
To be determined when I call the favors due.
And how will I know when you're asking for a favor?
I will come to you directly, or one of my deputies will pass along my wishes. Do we have a bargain?
Now look at the group. I'm happy to do it if you'll let me.
Who is to be the judge of the fairness of the favors? I worry for my. I'm a compatriot.
So she looks mildly and mockingly offended. Are you perhaps implying that I, in my role as Fey Queen, would perhaps ask or demand of him something that he is not able to do?
Yes, because by definition you are a Fey Queen, and
Yeah.
that is what you're renowned for doing.
Lady, if I were to offer you my favors, none of them would involve you living in my head, would they?
I have better things and locations to do with my time than to live in your head.
Great, I'm in.
All right.
I don't know what favors I could do to you with my lack of power right now. Sure, I'm going to try and persuade her to use lesser favors.
You may do so at disadvantage. Rob?
Can I assist?
That will bring it up to neutral. So, whew, that's an 8 for him. All right, so the discussion is going to go back and forth before you can sense that her patience is well and truly spent, and she abruptly just turns to Will and Rithgar. Well, the two of you have agreed to my offer. If you would like to do so now, then you may shake my hand.
2.5 each.
Sorry?
2.5 each. 2.5 each.
I can't let you do it without me, boys. I'll take 1. Just in case I don't regain my state.
What's the plan?
All right.
I'm reaching out to shake a hand.
Yeah, go and shake a hand.
All right, it will be as bargained, and then she grabs onto the hands successively of Will, Rithgar, and Tinkrit. All right. So with that, you guys see a sudden sparking sensation, and abruptly the three of you have a small bracelet which appears around your left wrists. Each of them has 5 pearls contained within, and additionally they also seem to display a symbol which you are later able to find out is simply the sigil which represents the Storm Hag and her court. All right, boys. Well, if you would like to pay a visit to my fair kingdom, then if you arrive at the city gates at dusk, then I believe I can see my way to letting my boy Triton allowing you to enter my demiplane.
Alright. To the gates, boys.
Let's go.
12 hours later.
Should we bring the dragon turtle a snack?
A snack of gold. That's what that motherfucker eats.
Oh, Tinkrit's got a lot of it.
Give us in the shape of gems.
I assume our entrance is also paying the fee of the dragon turtle.
All right. So you guys pretty much have half a day. So in order before evening comes around, are you guys just going to immediately head to the gates and wait there for the rest of the day, or are you going to do something else?
How damaged is the docks area?
So the warehouse is now fairly destroyed, about half of it. It may be able to be repaired, but that would be a concentrated effort by every member of the clan going through and all the mages functionally being able to do so.
Should we move to the guild hall?
May as well move everybody there.
Yeah, guess we spend half the day moving.
Can I join the skirmishes against the Fae?
Yes, you may do so. All right, so for those of you who are going to be helping with the moving, it's not going to be too much of a problem. Rithgar and the other people will be functionally acting to run interference. Michael, can I get you to just roll a d20 plus your strength modifier?
You mean just a d20? Oh no, sorry, d20 minus 1.
Oh, sorry, you can opt to use your dexterity. I apologize, because that's your primary attacking stat, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, either way, you actually rolled fairly well with your strength, being 17 and an 18 for dexterity. All right. So, throughout the day, Rithgar, you do get into several combat situations with a variety of the Fae in securing the safe passage of the children, the relics, and the other members and items of the clans from the warehouse up to the guild hall. Did you want to provide any flavor or interesting stuff?
Did I manage to kill any of them?
Yes, you will be able to kill Fae.
Oh, no way.
So, I clandestinely do that thing that I was doing before.
All right.
He's eating their eyes.
Why their eyes? That was more a question to Rob. Why their eyes?
I don't know. No, I don't know. It's what he keeps on talking about. It's weird.
Because he was blind that one time.
Yeah, I was trying to cure myself.
You're not blind anymore. Anyway.
That is your overall outcome there, Michael.
I don't know. I'm noticing it in the background, but
Is that the killed 8 Fae?
No, that was for something else. So he has been able to kill several other Fae. I'm just kind of leaving it up to him if you wanted to provide any rule of cool for that. Did anybody else want to take part in killing Fae?
I'm very grumpy, so yes.
I think I did it with my longbow as well. I don't use my longbow very often, so yeah.
Yep. Well, if you want to take part, then feel free to roll d20 plus whatever your primary attack stat is.
Oh, I'm not going to bother.
Alright. Alright, so the process... Sorry?
They might kill me.
So, the process takes most of the day. However, there is a bit of a strange scenario that pops up at one stage where, Tinkrit, as you are looking around in the course of your duties, there is an abrupt moment where you can see a fairly tall, humanoid-looking Fae from across the street. He makes eye contact with you and then holds up his hands to indicate that he is currently unarmed.
Good on ya.
So he calls across in in the common language. His accent is fairly musical. Good halfling, you will find that I am not like my other brethren here. Is there a moment where we may be able to discuss? I am looking for an agreement which will hopefully be to our mutual benefit.
Yes, but not alone.
He basically inclines his head. Of course. If you would like, we may be able to adjourn with some of your companions to a nearby house, which is large enough for us to remain safely away from one another while we discuss.
Yes. Company on me. Let's have a chat to this creature.
Right.
All right. So, you begin to have a look around, and the Fae begins to lead you towards another ruinous empty hall, this one likely also belonging to another guild.
We think you may follow us. We're not going to follow you.
All right. He gives a shrug, of course.
Is there another place nearby where we can go?
Roll me investigation.
Go well.
You could just go back to the thing.
I
Back to
also
the warehouse.
Yeah.
I got a couple of days of maps worth of a couple of days worth of maps as well, if that helps.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Does it help?
I will allow an advantage roll for that. $14. All right. So, pretty much with the same idea I was going for before, you guys are able to locate another guild hall. This one in much less better condition than the one you have been able to establish as a home base, but it is roomy enough that you are able to set up fairly divisive sides, with the Fae on one side, his back currently to the skirting wall, so basically he would be able to just fly off with a moment's notice, and the rest of you having fairly defensive positions, being able to set up a perimeter using fallen boulders and columns from the architecture of the guild hall. So, I dare say this will be sufficient for your needs?
It seems to be, yes. Now, how can you assist me? And in turn, us you.
So he gives a fairly deep bow. It's almost borderline mocking, but at the same time it would indicate a little bit of respect to those who might not actually pay attention to the etiquette required between nobles. It is basically within a hair less what you would expect for one of your noble birth. I am the Fae known as Jesper. I have approached you in order to try and win my freedom from this city. Much like yourselves, I have discovered that I am currently bound here by the orders of our king, though I have no interest in actually partaking in any of his plans. I understand that you have been in contact with the Storm Hag.
We have struck a deal with the Storm Hag.
In that case, if I might be able to offer, the Storm Hag has a particular fondness for pearls, and I have a fairly generous specimen of such here. It is all that I'm asking of you and your group is for you to request that she lift her protections even momentarily, so that I and presumably those of your clan will be able to leave the city and escape the boundaries of the Feywild here.
Don't I have a giant pearl? Isn't that one of my things?
I think you got a giant diamond.
Oh, he has a giant diamond. It's not okay.
Just mug this guy.
What are you going to do with him? Okay, that's great. You've asked us to have you freed. And what's that? What's in it for us?
So he just gives a bit of a smile. Of course, this pearl will help you win freedom for yourselves as well. It is simply a you scratch your back and I'll scratch mine. The Fey Queen is not, let's say, a fan of my particular person, and since I'm seeking to go against the edict of the Fey King himself, then really I'm not considered popular by either side. With my item, then you'll be able to seek a way to escape the city, and if you do, of course, play your cards right, you may be able to make your way up to the Autumn Palace itself to end this insipid contest.
I'm confused. Saying we could go to see the king.
He gives a bit of a shrug at that stage. Is that not part of the war games that you mortals are undergoing? If you are capable of stealing the Fey relic, then of course you win.
Or we just leave with the other relics and then nobody wins.
He gives a bit of a shrug at that stage. It is, of course, your particular choice, but I don't see you being able to escape the Fey realm until these games have obviously concluded.
What do you say about that, Will?
Look, I guess it gets the others out, which might be worth it in itself.
Get the other, yeah, okay. Doing a lot of deals lately today. I just want to do killing. I want to deal death, not do deals. All right. Whatever. Show us your pearl.
All right. So with that, he reaches into his pocket, and the pearl he brings out is magnificent. It is a pearl which seems to have a strange bluish-black shimmer to it, and when he does pull it out, you can see that it is roughly the size of his single fist.
Can somebody is anyone like good at insight or sense motive or anything like that? I've
got a pretty good insight.
Suspect that Jesper is in fact puck with no curve.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good insight. I can have a look.
I've got good investigation, so I can give you advantage.
Why don't you do it?
Or should I use my passive of 18 rather than rolling?
Passive's pretty good.
Yeah, I might use my passive of 18.
Your passive of 18. Give me a sec.
Could I roll for investigation?
Your call, unless you want to rely on Addison.
I think attacking it from two different directions is a good idea.
Investigation of 16, and I'm sorry, Addison, you said yours was 18?
My passive is 18, yeah.
Yep. Alrighty.
Insight. Passive insight.
Okay, so as you look over the Fae, you aren't really able to sense any particular malicious motive as far as things go. Rithgar, as you scan him over, you can see that he does seem to be fairly well dressed, a little bit more than every other Fae that you have actually seen up to this point, but he does seem to be carrying himself in a much different way than Puck or even the Prince was at the previous time. You are also able to ascertain, at least visually, that it looks like the pearl is also the real deal.
Right. Well, doesn't seem bad, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't not trust him, or we shouldn't trust him either way. But he's not lying to us.
Okay. All right. You have a deal. Jesper.
He gives a somewhat sharp smile, as in when he smiles, you can see that his teeth are a little bit unnaturally sharp when he grins. Well, in that case, if I leave the pearl here, then I will take my leave of you and resume my hiding from the rest of the my brethren in the city.
Good on you.
So with that, he bows and then gently sets the pearl down on the nearest rock rubble. And with that, he, keeping an eye on you the entire time, just walks backwards until he falls out of the window and abruptly takes flight.
Dan, can I do an arcana check on the pearl, please?
Yes, you may. 18. Oh, very nice. All right. So you do an arcana check and you are able to ascertain that it looks like this particular pearl is completely and naturally made. There is no artifice or magical spell that has been cast upon it. However, it would be a powerful regent in particularly water-based spells.
Groovy. All right, let's kill me.
I'll pick the pearl up.
Sorry.
Did you say fireball?
I'll pick the pearl up now that I've examined it and realised it's not cursed or enchanted in any way.
The curse of the black pearl.
God.
Yeah, that's my number one roll.
So the rest of the day passes with you guys taking care of the children and moving the rest of your effects to the guild hall. As sunset begins to approach, you can almost sense a bit more of a trembling through the air, and it almost feels like that sensation you get right before it's about to bucket down raining in the middle of a storm.
Cool, I love that feeling. That portends well, I think. Boys!
All right.
Good.
So you make your way down to the gates of the city, and in the distance you can see the water serpent that seems to be the form that the sea hag likes to take during her twice a day prowling. However, there does seem to be a fairly large creature which is making its way directly towards you, and as it gets closer you can see what looks like a oversized turtle with many lizard-like features just zipping towards you at a phenomenal rate.
Okay.
What did we know about dragon turtles?
They're big and tough. I think they've got breath weapon. I think that's as much as I know.
They're big and turtly and dragony.
Okay, dragony. Well, I speak draconic, so
That will help.
let's give that a go.
All right. So
Take it to your wiener.
you brace yourselves as the spray of water washes over you as it begins to slow to a crawl as it gets closer to you. You can see that it does seem to be towering above you well and truly about, let's have a look. Yep, so about 15 feet in total above the surface of the water. Now, as it gets closer, you see that it seems to inspect all of you very intently before, almost reluctantly, it lowers its head and opens its jaw. When that occurs, you can see that a swirling blue portal opens directly in its maw, and through you can sense powerful magical energy coming from that portal.
You are awesome. How amazing are you? Magical portal in your mouth. How do you eat? You must get very hungry.
Its expression changes from slightly guarded to looking rather pleased with itself.
I say in draconic, I've never seen a more magnificent dragon turtle.
It gives, again, another pleased grumble, but this time it waddles its fins.
Does that mean like hurry up?
Yeah.
Hurry up!
I leap in.
Sorry?
I leap into the portal.
All right.
I can still first.
So would you like to save that nat 20, or would you like to use it, Rob?
I think I might save it.
That's been 3 nat 20 to a stealth.
Yeah, you guys have been really good with your stealthy today. And there's an unnatural 20 from Solturum, so...
Hey, we all get plus 10 anyway.
Are we stealthing?
Oh, survival. My bad.
Shame.
Yeah.
You all good? All right. So everybody is stealthing up as you prepare to go through the portal. Now, when you do take a step through the portal, it feels like you have just been spritzed with a fairly refreshing spray from the ocean itself. There is a momentarily chill, but abruptly you feel yourself descending into water. When that occurs and you come out of the portal itself, however, a small bubble begins to manifest from your mouth before it begins to surround your head. You find yourselves able to breathe within that particular bubble with no problem.
Cool.
Thank God, I was feeling like a child in a bag there for a moment.
All right. So directly ahead of you, you are able to ascertain that you have most definitely entered the Sea Hag's realm, as directly ahead of you there seems to be an immense castle. Almost, it feels like you're currently at the bottom of the ocean, judging by the fairly large coral reef and very tall fronds of seaweed which are growing nearby. In the distance, you can see fairly large seahorses also swimming around with what look like aquatic-looking fae currently riding them. And the palace directly in front of you appears to be made out of a masterful work of alabaster, marble, and mother of pearl.
Nice.
Do you want to turn into a killer whale now?
You might be able to. You don't know.
I mean, I could.
Well, the giant skeleton would be better, wouldn't it?
I think the turtle has more AC, but the killer whale has more damage.
Or maybe you want to turn into a giant moose?
That's a good idea.
Or a blue whale.
I don't think you can turn into a blue whale. Sorry, what?
If you do the orca, then you can do the thing where he goes up onto the shore and takes the seal.
Lord.
I feel like it's turning into an orca is not of utmost priority. We seem to be fine for now.
For now. All right. So...
let's go towards the castle.
All right, so before we do go in, and I know that we have about 8 minutes left before the end of the session, are all of y'all familiar with the, just in case it does pop up, the rules regarding underwater movement, suffocation, and also underwater combat?
Nah.
No.
Nope.
A little bit.
Not at all.
Is it easier if you're an orca?
Potentially, I don't know. All right, it's going to be a little bit harder to display it, but generally when it enters into water, it generally means that things are going to be entering into a 3D plane, so I will advise you otherwise as to exactly what's going on and what doesn't. Just to make it easier, I'm going to try and keep things as 2D as possible. There are some specific rules, particularly around the use of lightning and fire, but again, those ones can be covered between the sessions itself.
Okay.
Alrighty, so you guys have entered into the aquatic Feywilds, and the palace in front of you is magnificent, and as you begin to swim to cross the bridge, you see two sets of guards who are currently looking very merman-ish. They simply give you a look over before their looks focus on the wrists of Rithgar, Will, and Tinkrit before they stand down and simply let you pass through. Directly ahead of you, you can see incredibly large worked doors, and which are currently open, and directly through them you can see an immense throne as well as other courtiers, it looks like, various fays who attend the Storm Hag herself. Her throne does currently sit empty as she is on her journey around Thogja.
Well, when she gets back, we do have to ask her to take down that bloody thing for old mate's sake and for the rest of our groups.
Did we see Tinkrit? Tinkrit Teddy, that is?
The guy wouldn't be expecting us. You wouldn't think, would you?
All right. So, what would you guys like to do until the arrival, I suppose, of the Queen?
Oh, is a queen coming, or I suppose we want to search for face. Excuse me.
Yeah, we go looking for Tinkrit too.
Yeah, let's look for Tinkrit 2 and then murder him before the Queen gets back.
All right. So, while you do seem to have free reins of, firstly, the equivalent of underwater gardens, as well as the gathering hall, the court that contains the Queen and her Queen's throne and the courtiers, it looks like guards do prevent your accessing the rest of the castle. Instead, they just basically motion to the mob of courtiers who, as you guys begin to move around, almost part around you as if they've never seen anything quite like your particular group in all their times as part of the court. I just said court way too many times, it has lost all meaning to me.
It kind of did to me too.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to try and sneak past, or do we want to ask? Let's ask somebody. Let's be polite.
You guys, polite?
Good merman. How splendid to meet you. Have you seen my likeness afore?
So, the Fae who turns towards you looks at you in utter bafflement before they mutter something in the bubbling language that you've heard coming from the various Fae that you've encountered in Thogtra up to this point.
Yes. So he just ignores me? Is that what you're saying?
No, he's looking directly at you.
He speaks back, but we don't understand.
Is that right? Languages. Yes, well, I try halfling.
There is a no look of comprehension that comes from the courtier.
So he doesn't understand common, he doesn't understand halfling.
Correct.
I do an illusion. That makes it look like me, and I point. Not me. This dude.
All right. Roll me performance.
Okay.
25. Ooh, very nice. Look, it's old Tinkrit. All right.
Shadow.
So, your performance very quickly gains the attention of various of the other courtiers who are here, and after a moment of excited babbling between all of them, the crowd suddenly parts, and in the distance you can see a small halfling form who looks identical to Tinkrit, who is currently using a set of bagpipes to play a strangely melodious tune, which is at a quieter resonance than you usually expect to be coming from Tinkrit. Now, Sorry?
I say to Will, zap him, Will. He knows what to do.
Trust him.
So before you are able to react, however, there is a hush that comes over the court as the Storm Hag enters into her throne room. So she has reassumed the previous form that you saw her in the warehouse, and as she settles herself on the throne, she looks directly over at the group. Welcome to the first mortals who have entered my realm in nary a millennia. I understand that you have received a fine welcome from my courtiers, but I must remind you that you are, of course, here under the rules of hospitality.
What rules are they?
So she looks completely innocent, and she feigns a bit of surprise. Oh, well, you have entered into my realm without knowing the rules of hospitality. Of course, well, you see, when we are to entertain mortals, they come in here with certain protections which are extended both ways. Of course, I can only allow for this to be a neutral ground. And as a result, I must assure that provide a rule of safety to all who enter into my royal court. So none may pick up arms against one another, and of course, anybody found breaking such rules will be. She stops for a moment, and she again smiles, and what teeth you can see seem almost sharp this time. Would need to be suitably punished, of course.
Ooh, how delicious.
But I do understand that you have a grievance with my member of the court, but I'm sure that you would be, of course, able to work it out between yourselves and him.
And
Now,
how do you expect to work it out?
She simply smiles and then waves. It is up to your jurisdiction, but just keep in mind that I, of course, will be very upset if you do break the rules of hospitality. But in the meantime, sit. You may partake of my food and drink, and you may find yourselves being escorted to your bed chambers if at any time you are tired. You are, of course, here as my honored guests. All right, gentlemen, and with that, I think that is a good place to leave it for tonight.
No,
Good.
terrible face.
We didn't kill him.
All right, so, gentlemen, would you please nominate your MVP for the session?
Tinkrit for talking us and barding us our way in into the court. Chat.
Roll off first, having children into a bag.
Sorry, Luke?
I was going to say, who took the 3 favors? Like, which lunatic?
Yeah, I was gonna say Will for the trying to take the 5 favors.
Yeah. Like, while all of us were very quiet.
I feel like Soltura and North are like, magical creature? I do not want no favors to that.
Not going anywhere near that. So I'm extremely grateful to Will for taking 3 of those bad boys on.
Yeah, same.
All right, so sounds like Addison, you have been nominated as MVP. So I will add 1 to your Nat 20 count, bringing it up to 4. The tallies stand as they currently are, with Michael in the lead at 5, Addison and Rob having 4, and both Lukes having 3, and everybody bar Luke E having at least 1 Nat 20 still stored. Nat 1 still stored. All right, Addison, would you like melee, mage, or rogue?
What did I do last time? Melee? I think I'll do mage this time, maybe.
All right, give me a sec. Roll me a d20. $13. All right. Okay, 2. Just a sec. Typing it in now. I think it's the first time in like 4 weeks somebody hasn't actually gotten a magic item.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. Alright, so during the course of the adventure today, you have come in across 2 black opals worth 622 gold pieces each. Flavor it up for me. When and how would you have discovered those?
Maybe when the hag pulled the that tidal wave came across the thing. Maybe she washed up some of the shore, and a couple of like oysters and things fell on the dock. Maybe I shucked them and found some black pearls.
Black opals? Yep.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
black
Works for
opals.
me. Alright, well in that case, congratulations guys for making it through the session. Like I said, I was expecting a bit of a quiet one, so it's nice to have it. I hope you're all prepared for next time, but for everybody currently listening, thank you for tuning in, and next week we are going to be attending the Court of the Storm Hag and see whether Tinkrit might be able to regain his powers. In the meantime, I wish you all a good one, and we hope you will listen in next time, so have a good one, guys.